I'm Christy Conway with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I'm here with Sarah Jacobs of Charleston Woodworks in this beautiful Mount Pleasant home. We're in Rivertown Country Club, talking to her about some of the cabinetry that her company did. So, Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well. Well, thank you so much for letting us into this home. You've got some great projects that you've done, 3 of which we've actually photographed. Can you tell me a little bit about the one that we're standing in front of?
Yeah, this is a custom built-in storage unit. It's open shelving, obviously, for books and things of that nature on the top, with 5-piece raised panel cabinet doors underneath, and brass hardware.
Oh, brass. Okay, cool. So the homeowners wanted, this is their master bedroom, right? Is this, did they come to you with plans, or did you draw this out? How does that work?
They found us through our website this past summer and contacted us with photo references. The most recent, or the closest one to what they really wanted us to go after style-wise was actually the Rivertown Country Club. So they sent us photos of the mantel. It was all very traditional style, going with the rest of the style of the house, and gave us free rein to kind of design in that vein to meet their storage needs.
Okay. So I mentioned that you had 3 projects in here. That was the master bedroom, just bookshelf unit. Then you have the one in the family room. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the family room is actually very similar to this. It's the same open and closed storage, and then we also did a mantelpiece that is the mantel around the fireplace with a panel and a mirror image of the same mantel for the TV to go underneath. So.
And your father actually built that, right, by hand?
Yes, he handmade the mantelpiece in the living room. It's kind of a pet project. Anytime a mantel comes up, he likes to check out of the office and just go reintroduce himself to what he loves about woodworking. So
that's very cool. But the rest of the mantle itself, the fluting, right? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, the fluting.
Who makes that, and how's that made?
The fluting detail is this here, and we actually use a CNC machine, which is a computer-operated routing machine, and we have an employee who draws things on the computer, and then it translates into a program in the CNC router, and it basically creates what you draw in 3 dimensions.
Oh, okay, so it cuts it as well and everything. Okay.
Yep.
All right, and do most woodworking companies have a CNC router, or is that special?
It's special in that not every company here in Charleston has one. It's a fairly large-scale piece of equipment. Not everyone has the space or the money to invest in such a large piece of equipment. We invested in it about 10 years ago because it's just sort of the direction that the industry is moving in, with more and more automation. It doesn't take out the handcrafted nature of finishing and keeping quality control, real tight to, everything that goes out the door. But it helps with consistency. A computer makes sure every single flute is exactly the same depth, exactly the same length. And it just gives us a little more flexibility with, keeping everything exactly.
So I'd imagine it actually makes the project go quicker as well.
Yeah, it does actually provide, a much faster way to do the higher detail items. The way this used to be done was by hand. You can also use a hand router, which, it's dangerous. A CNC sort of takes that danger out of it because it's 100% computer. There's someone standing over it to make sure it runs properly, and then you're done. It's just all hand finishing after that.
Well, now you mentioned that your father actually did the handwork on the mantle itself, and that there's a guy that does the CNC router. How many other people do woodwork for your company?
We have 6 employees that work on the shop floor full-time, and they do various jobs. We're a small enough company that if you work for us, you kind of have to be a jack of all trades within the industry. People help with finishing, construction, rough mill. So we actually run molding from lumber to finished product. So we can handle the full-scale job from anything that shows in a finished project. We don't do structural.
Right. Okay. All right. And then as for the third and final project that you've done or completed on this house, was the kitchen. Now, in my understanding, those weren't your cabinets specifically, but your company, Charleston Woodworks, did install them, right?
Yes. That was kind of a unique situation. This project, when the homeowner contacted us, they had actually already been well into construction. They were working with a local contractor, and this was just an additional project that they added, and the homeowner's wife just decided she wanted to have more control over it. She looked up cabinet shops in Charleston, our website came up, and she had us do this. And the kitchen cabinets they had already purchased from a cabinet shop somewhere in Pennsylvania, I believe. Okay. And they sent them down, and they were so pleased with the quality of the work we had already finished in the house that instead of having their contractor complete the installation, they figured it made more sense for a cabinet shop to install the cabinets.
Of course, yeah.
So we got to do the installation and do some editing with, pieces that weren't exactly right. And it's very difficult to order boxes from someplace out of state and have everything be perfect for a job site, because drawings are drawings, they're not real life, and a room is never exactly dimensioned the same way here as it is on a piece of paper. So we got to address those problems for them and make sure that the finished project was exactly what they envisioned.
Yeah, I never would have thought that you guys would do that, but that makes sense. And that's just one more thing that Charleston Woodworks offers then.
Yes, we are more than happy to install other people's work if it's a particular look or a product brand name that you're looking for. A lot of companies sell name brand cabinetry, but they don't have local installers. They don't all have qualified installers. So you want to find somebody, especially someone like us who's AWI quality certified. It means that we're educated and familiar with AWI, which is Architectural Woodwork Institute, construction and installation standards, and we have to follow those standards in order to maintain our certification. It keeps us held to a higher level than just your average, garage construction worker.
Right.
Somebody just
that makes sense.
Their shop is their pickup truck.
Right. That's horrifying.
And it's very common. I mean, it's that little label of AWI certification, it holds us to a level of accountability that not everyone else is.
I didn't even know that existed. Yeah. Good to know.
Be an educated consumer.
Okay. Well, so the cabinets that you installed in the kitchen, I'd imagine you'd have to kind of make the cabinets in the family room, since they're in the same grand room, somewhat similar, at least in color and things like that. How did you go about doing that?
Well, when they told us what they were doing with the cabinetry in the kitchen, because we tried to get in there when they told us they had already purchased them and they were in fabrication already. We just said, we'll reroute them, send them directly to us. We'll look at the style that you have, send us the drawings so we can see their construction methods, and we'll match where it's appropriate. So they sent us a door for the kitchen cabinets, and we were basically able to just color match the base color for the cabinets. The kitchen cabinets are sort of a Tuscan distressed finish, antiqued, I guess. Mm-hmm. They wanted something more clean, similar to this, just a solid cream color. Okay. So very neutral.
Okay. Well, so you did that kind of as an extra kind of helpful thing for them, but I know that they've got a lot of other projects upcoming for you. For instance, I think the master closets, is that right?
Yes. Again, they've sort of decided that they're really pleased with our work. They like working with us. My dad has personally managed their project from start to finish, and they again came to him with the closets, said we don't want just a standard Costco closet system. We want custom to match the grade of the rest of the house. So she said, these are my storage needs, draw something. And he was able to put together shop drawings illustrating all the different ways of storing clothes and shoes, and really maximize the storage capacity of their his and hers closets. And we will be starting those, I would say, within the next month or so.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah. And then there's some projects even upstairs, I think, that you might be working on. Is that?
Additional closets, smaller closets that they also want custom storage systems in.
Well, that's obviously the greatest compliment, is to have someone keep coming back, right?
Yes, absolutely. To keep coming back to us to finish your project and then to tell all your friends.
So what was the timeline for this large undertaking?
The timeline originally was 6 weeks, and that from start to finish, from us beginning our shop drawings to getting approval of the shop drawings to building and installing our original, basically 4 storage pieces and then the mantle outside, 6 weeks. So, and
is that common?
It depends on the scale of the project. For something like this, yeah, and it also depends on how decisive the homeowner is. You know, there are a lot of people who see a drawing, they say, oh, that's not exactly what I had in mind. Change it. And that's a service that is a bonus for what we offer. We have AutoCAD and we have Cabinet Vision software, so we can really show you exactly what your project will look like once it's in place. And that's a nice level of checks and balances to make sure before you commit to having it installed. It costs a lot more to remove a project and redo it than it is to change a drawing and then build it.
So in the case of these cabinets that you actually did build, your company, what kind of materials, what kind of woods? I know you said brass hardware.
Yes.
But what about the wood itself?
The wood itself is primarily maple, solid maple. We do use poplar for some of the trim work. Poplars are real common interior grade, paint grade wood. It holds up really well in this temperature or this climate zone.
Right. Humidity,
exactly. And it paints really nicely. It's a nice smooth finishing wood. But the maple is a nice hard finish. It's very durable. And it's one of our go-tos between poplar and maple. And then the doors themselves, as I said, are a 5-piece raised panel construction, and any place where there are drawers concealed inside, they're dovetail construction drawers.
So I guess finally here, I just wondered, with a project like this and with the homeowner being in New Jersey, were there any kind of challenges that you as Charleston Woodworks ran into?
There were challenges. As far as designing, it's always nice to have the freedom to sort of do what our interpretation is of their wants based off of, you know, their requirements and their inspiration photos. But that's also a challenge too, because the way we interpret something is unique to us. So we have to bridge the gap between how we see something and how they're envisioning it. So there was that. And then there's also, these cabinets are quite tall. They're solid structures, so we didn't bring in a lot of small pieces and construct inside. We had to figure out how to maintain this, you know, solid structure construction and then be able to bring it in these narrow doorways through turned hallways and all of that. So, and she also had, the homeowner had very specific requirements over what she wanted to be able to fit in these cabinets. And she has a large book collection, and we had to accommodate it. So.
Book lover. That's cool. Okay, well, so, you know, if someone were to want to get a hold of you guys, maybe do a similar project or maybe something on a smaller scale, do you have a website for more information?
Yes, our website is www.charlestonwoodwork.com. No S at the end.
No S. Okay, and what's your phone number?
It's 843-744-0016.
Okay, well, I highly suggest you give them a call. Thanks so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.